I'm John Walsh with a missing child alert. 4-year-old Jamaica Porch was kidnapped from her home in Chattanooga, Tennessee on Sunday, August 14th. Police say the abductor entered the family's home by breaking in through the back door. She was kidnapped from her grandmother's bedroom. Jamaica was wearing a white t-shirt and white pajama bottoms with a rose-flowered print. She has hazel eyes, but they often change colors. If you know anything about Jamaica's whereabouts, please call 1-800-CRIME-TV.
In fact, if you know anything about that child you just saw or any others who may be missing, whose faces you might have seen on today's show, don't stop. Just stop watching the show. Go to the telephone and call your local police or the number that was there on your screen. Sir, you had a question.
How many missing children have been found so far?
Peter, you want to answer that?
Well, the number of missing children reported every year is about a million. Of those, the vast majority are found. The vast majority are found within a very short period of time. A good number of them are runaways. Probably the majority, 350,000, are abducted by a family member or a parent. Of the non-family members, the stranger abductions, about 4,600 times a year that happens. Of those 4,600 times, about 300 result in either the child being gone for a long period of time or the child being dead.
What do you say?
What could you do if a stranger came from behind you and he picked up you?
Good question.
I would say the best thing for a child to do is, first of all, put up a good fight, scream and yell. I don't know this person. This person's not my mom or my dad. Somebody help me. That would definitely draw attention from another adult. And I would say to put up a good fight at that moment as best you can, all the strength within you.
One of the things to do before you get to that point is to know what your surroundings are and don't walk around with your head to the ground. Occasionally look behind you, see who's near you. Notice who's around you so you don't give them the opportunity to sneak up behind you and grab you. If there's someone that you see and it's someone you don't know, walk to the other side of the street.
You know,
Go into a store.
My daddy used to always tell me, especially when coming to a big city like New York, he said, you always walk like you know where you're going, right?
Yeah.
There you go. What's your question?
Well, of course, if someone's just about to take you, you scream, but if someone has a weapon or anything, I'm not going to scream because then they could just kill you instantly. So what do you do if someone has a weapon?
Well, let's ask the officers.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Take that one.
That's a very tough question to answer. It's
You resist with all
as
of your might,
best
and I'll
you
tell you
can.
why.
Absolutely.
Is because the people that prey upon children, if they're going to use a violence and weapon, a child, very frankly, a dead child is no good to them. Very frankly.
Absolutely.
And that is what's going to, so you resist as hard as you can, as much create as much a commotion as you can, fight as hard as you can.
Because they're going to kill you anyway. So you may as well run and make noise and run as quick as you can to get
Now, that's
away.
not to depress you. That's to make you fight for life, buddy. If you ever put up a fight, that's the time to do it, okay? All right, I know you got it in you.
For both of these children, there's always, you have to remember there is strength in numbers as well. And if there's more than one child there at the time, the predator will be much less reluctant or much more reluctant to go after those children.
What you need to understand is that if something ever does happen to you, someone will always be looking for you. They will never stop looking for you.
And the parents need to tell their children that if they are abducted, you tell your children before it ever happens, if it ever does happen, I will never stop looking for you. And that's important for the kids to know.
Rolonda, the gentleman, the individual, the piece of garbage that kidnapped Stephen Stainer for 7 years, spent 5 years in prison for that crime. When he got out of prison, he attempted to get jobs in daycare centers in Southern California.
Oh, my God.
When asked, why are you doing
they
this?
do that.
He said, I love children.
When we come back, we're also going to find out how a kid can escape an abductor right after this. And Mom.
I'm John Walsh with a missing child alert. 6-year-old Bryce Herta has been missing from Nia Bay, Washington since April 9th. Police say Bryce had been hiking with family and friends at the Macaw Indian Reservation. He became separated and disappeared. Bryce has a mole on his right temple and a 1-inch vertical scar on his forehead. He was last seen wearing a white t-shirt, green pants, and Power Ranger tennis shoes. If you've seen Bryce Herta, please call 1-800-CRIME-TV.